So, you're finally ready to retire. No more morning meetings. No more Brenda from HR asking if you've tried turning it off and on again. Just peace, quiet, and maybe a margarita the size of your regrets. But here's the kicker. Not every town is retirement-friendly. Some look great on paper until you're knee-deep in rising crime rates, sky-high rent, or a healthcare system that runs slower than your Uncle Larry's dial-up. 3 quick teasers for you. One city that's literally sinking and no one stopping it. A southern hotspot where insurance costs more than your mortgage. And a Midwest town where the air quality is basically don't. Think you know the best cities? Let's find out. Because choosing wrong could cost you thousands or your sanity. No pressure, right? Oh, and one of the most surprising entries? Yeah, it's in Florida. And not the one you're thinking. And trust me, you're not ready for what's next. Go ahead and like this video, because your retirement planning should totally be based on sarcasm and Google Earth screenshots. Subscribe if you want more brutal honesty disguised as life advice. It's cheaper than therapy and slightly more useful than your cousin's group texts. Hit the bell or don't. I'll still be here, judging towns and making charts. Number 10, Redding, California. Redding, California, where the brochure promises mountain views, river trails, and that charming small-town vibe. It's Northern California's nature playground. Clean air, big skies, and a Costco with better parking than LA. You'd think, hey, not a bad place to kick back and enjoy retirement, right? Well, pump the brakes, Gramps. Let's talk facts. Redding looks like a peaceful escape, but underneath, it's got more red flags than a dating app during Mercury retrograde. Crime rate, over twice the national average, according to FBI data. Cost of living, 16% above the U.S. average, thanks to inflated housing and utilities. Median rent, around $1,450 for a 2-bedroom, and that's if you're cool with being near a freeway and a vape shop. Wildfire risk, sky high. Summer in Redding is less warm and breezy, and more the Hunger Games, heat wave edition. Healthcare, ranked below average by U.S. News. Hope you enjoy driving an hour to get your blood pressure checked. Redding is where you can watch the sunset, hear coyotes howling, and your neighbor yelling at a stolen catalytic converter, all in one evening. Retiring here is like buying a house on Zillow without looking. It seems calm until the fire season, crime alerts, and $6 oat milk lattes kick in. Okay, quick side rant. Why does every coffee shop in Redding close at 2 p.m.? Retirees wake up at 5 a.m. and still can't get an espresso after lunch? Also, the weather. It's either freezing or trying to cook you alive. And don't get me started on the drivers. It's like a blend of NASCAR and nap time, 80 miles per hour or 12, no in between. You can't age gracefully when you're dodging lifted pickups and sunburning through your socks. Now imagine waking up to a golden sunrise over the Sacramento River. You sip your coffee on the porch, as the smell of smoke from the nearest wildfire tickles your nostrils and a neighbor's pit bull lunges at a raccoon in the yard. Welcome to retirement Redding style. And if you think Redding's wild, the next place somehow made weird a competitive sport. Number 9, Rockford, Illinois. Rockford, Illinois, once known as the screw capital of the world. And yes, that was about machine parts, allegedly. It's the kind of place that sounds solid, mid-sized, Midwest, kind of affordable, and close to Chicago, if you count 90 minutes and a toll road as close. You might think, hey, it's quiet, it's cheap, and I can finally work on my golf game and eat a sandwich called the Italian beef bomb. But hold that retirement brochure, because behind the low-key vibe is a lot of noise. Here's what you're really signing up for. Violent crime rate, over 3 times the national average. Property crime, also above average. Lock up that rascal scooter. Median rent, around $1,050. Sounds low until you realize half the buildings need a tetanus shot. Unemployment rate, nearly 6%, well above the national average. Healthcare access, ranked poorly, especially for seniors. Not ideal when you're comparing blood pressure meds with your neighbor. Rockford, where your retirement plan better include pepper spray and a plan B. And the weather. Winter hits like it's personal. You'll dig your car out of the snow, drive 2 blocks, and hit a pothole so deep it has its own weather system. The city has more orange construction cones than working streetlights. Also, what's with the aggressive squirrels? I've seen a standoff in a Walgreens parking lot that ended with a guy losing his pretzel. No joke. Picture this. You wake up to the peaceful hum of snowblowers and ambulance sirens. You step outside, the sidewalk's icy, your mail's missing, and your neighbor's garage band is covering Nickelback at 9 a.m. Ah yes, the retirement dream. Rockford is like the ex you keep giving chances to, and it always lets you down with crime, potholes, and Aldi parking lot drama. Be honest, would you rather retire somewhere cheap but chaotic, or pricey but peaceful? Drop your take in the comments. If you thought Rockford was rough, the next place literally makes summer feel like an oven set to regret. Number 8. Shreveport, Louisiana. Welcome to Shreveport, Louisiana, a city that should be a southern gem. It's got jazz, gumbo, riverboats, and enough humidity to deep fry your eyebrows. From the outside, it seems like a retirement win. Low-ish cost of living, culture, casinos. But dig just a little deeper, and you'll find that retirement here feels less relax and unwind, and more duck and cover. Let's break it down with actual data. Violent crime rate, 2.5x the national average. You're more likely to get mugged than win at the slots. Cost of living, 10% below national average, which sounds nice until you realize what you're getting for it. Median rent, $950 for a 2-bedroom, but many come with bonus features like peeling paint and questionable neighbors. Healthcare, scored poorly for access and quality. Not ideal when you're trying to retire alive. Job market, shrinking. And retirees still need good local economies, for things like services, safety, and grandkid visits that don't require GPS support. Shreveport, come for the crawfish, stay because your car got stolen. Can we talk about the weather for a second? In Shreveport, summer feels like getting hugged by a wet oven. It's 96 degrees Fahrenheit with 89% humidity, and the mosquitoes have attitudes. And drivers, it's either full NASCAR, or they stop in the middle of the street to chat. You'll be sitting there melting, while two guys discuss last night's Saints game with zero urgency. It's like time slows down, just not in a zen way. Now picture this. You're sitting on a porch swing, fan blowing, jazz playing from somewhere down the street. You reach for your sweet tea. Just as a mosquito the size of a mini drone lands on your knee, and your neighbor starts blasting Kid Rock at 8:15 a.m. Peace. Living in Shreveport is like being stuck in a casino bathroom that also sells chicken wings. You get used to it, but should you? Alright, let's settle this. Would you trade safety and comfort for all-you-can-eat crawfish and dollar slot machines? Tell me in the comments. I'm judging silently. Also, fun fact, the city's motto used to be, "We're all in this together," which honestly sounds like something you'd hear right before an evacuation. At least Rockford didn't come with bingo halls and body armor. So points? And if you think Shreveport's a gamble, wait till you see the next place, where the cold isn't just in the air, it's in the attitude. Number 7. Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage, Alaska, the land of mountains, moose, and more Instagram-worthy sunrises than you can shake a snow shovel at. It sounds like a dream, right? Clean air, no state income tax, and you can finally brag to your friends that your backyard has actual wolves. But retirement here? It's not the peaceful, snowy wonderland they show in cruise ads. It's more like Survivor, Social Security Edition. Let's hit you with the real numbers. Cost of living? A jaw-dropping 29% above the national average. Grocery prices? Up to 50% higher due to remote shipping costs. Violent crime rate? Nearly double the US average. Yeah, Anchorage is weirdly stabby for a frozen city. Median rent? About $1,550 a month, and that's if you don't mind your porch doubling as a moose trail. Healthcare access? Limited. You might be choosing between a clinic and a plane ride. Anchorage, where it costs a fortune to freeze your butt off while dodging moose and muggers. Cozy. You think potholes are bad in your town? Anchorage potholes are like sinkholes dressed in snow. You'll be cruising down the street, and suddenly, boom, your Prius just swallowed itself. And can we talk about the coffee? $7 for a latte at a drive-thru with frostbite as a free topping. Also, driving at noon in pitch-black darkness? Retirement shouldn't require a headlamp. Now imagine waking up to total silence. Snow blankets the trees. A mountain view fills your window. You sip hot coffee, watching breath rise in the -5 degrees air. Then check your phone and see a text, clinic closed. Try Fairbanks. Alaska living. Anchorage is beautiful if you like driving on ice, paying $18 for bacon, and being chased by wildlife while taking out the trash. Meanwhile, in Boise, Idaho, you can safely walk to brunch. In Anchorage, brunch walks include bear spray and a thermal jumpsuit. Would you trade palm trees for penguin vibes if the taxes were low? Comment below, and yes, I am keeping score. And if you thought Anchorage was chilly, the next place might just freeze your bank account and your last nerve. Number 6. Toledo, Ohio. Toledo, Ohio, the city that brought you Jeep, glass manufacturing, and an unreasonable number of Arby's. It sits right on the edge of Lake Erie and has that, hey, we're trying energy. There are museums, a decent zoo, and you can buy a house for the price of a used Prius. Sounds like a low-key retirement win, right? Well, let's just say the fine print on that retirement dream reads like a horror novella. Let's pull the curtain back on what's actually going on. Violent crime rate? 2.3x higher than the U.S. average. Property crime? Also high. Apparently your mailbox needs security. Unemployment? Above 5%, and the job market's slower than dial-up. Healthcare access? Not great. Hospitals are overwhelmed and wait times are, bring a snack level. Cost of living? It's low, about 20% under the national average, but that's because, well, no one's fighting to live here. Toledo, where you can afford to retire, just maybe not safely or happily. Let's talk roads. Toledo's potholes are deep enough to qualify as air bumps. You'll be driving to the grocery store, and suddenly your sedan disappears into the asphalt like it's in Jumanji. Add gray skies for 200 days a year, and you've got the perfect recipe for seasonal depression, extra sad edition. Oh, and people love to tailgate in snowstorms. So yeah, enjoy that post-retirement relaxation. Picture this. You wake up to overcast skies and the sound of salt trucks scraping down your block. You shuffle to the kitchen, pour your coffee, and then realize the power's out again. You open the curtains for light, but it's just fog and a guy yelling at a raccoon in a Taco Bell parking lot. Welcome to Toledo. Toledo is great if you like affordable housing, abandoned factories, and watching weather go through all 4 seasons in 12 hours. And if you thought Toledo had a gray cloud over it, the next city takes hot and miserable to a whole new level. All right, time for a quick breather. Don't worry, we'll get back to the retirement nightmares in just a sec. But first, did you know Anchorage once had a mayor who suggested arming the homeless with shotguns as a crime solution? Yeah, that happened. Suddenly those moose don't seem so bad. Oh, and Rockford, Illinois, was ranked the most miserable city in the U.S. back in 2013. Still recovering. Still sad. Still. Rockford. So hey, if your city's already been roasted, drop it in the comments. If we skipped it, drop that too. And don't worry, your town's probably in the next video. Hit subscribe if you want more truth bombs wrapped in sarcasm. And to the loyal ones still watching. Yes, I'm still thinking about that Toledo pothole Airbnb idea. You know who you are. By the way, fun fact, statistically, you're more likely to meet a bear in Alaska than a dentist in Shreveport. Do not ask how I know that. Alright, enough fun. You're not ready for what's next, seriously. It's like if heat exhaustion and sticker shock had a baby. Let's get back to it. Up next, it gets hotter, weirder, and just a little bit tragic. Number 5. Stockton, California. Stockton, California, the city that almost sounds nice. It's got that Central Valley charm, a river, a port, and technically, palm trees. Some folks think retiring here means sun, sunsets, and maybe a wine tasting or two. Spoiler, it's less Napa, more, why is that guy yelling at a mailbox again? Let's get into what's really going on. Violent crime rate? Over double the national average. Stockton filed for bankruptcy in 2012, and while it's out, the economy's still limping. Median home price? Around $450,000. Not terrible for California, but still a bad deal when paired with high crime and low services. Healthcare? Ranked below average. The ER wait time is basically a side quest. Unemployment? Stubbornly high. Not great if you want services or safe neighborhoods. Stockton, where your golden years come with a free side of anxiety and expired street tacos. Here's what gets me, the drivers. I've seen more lane splitting, red light running, no blinker having chaos in Stockton than in all of LA. And don't even try to order an iced coffee without paying $7 and getting attitude with your ice. You'll be sweating bullets in a 108 degrees Fahrenheit heat wave while your latte melts faster than your patience. Oh, and bonus, every other street is under construction, permanently. Imagine this. You step out onto your porch in the morning. It's already 92 degrees. A rooster is crowing at a car alarm. someone's selling fruit out of shopping cart and your neighbor waves at you while casually holding a garden hose and a chihuahua wearing sunglasses. Welcome to Stockton, baby. Living in Stockton is like dating someone who swears they've changed but still crashes your car and eats your leftovers. In Irvine, California, your biggest fear is HOA rules about lawn height. In Stockton, it's, will my mailbox still be here tomorrow? Would you rather retire in a sketchy town with good weather or a safe one that gets 50 inches of snow? Comment below, and no, moving to Mars doesn't count. And if you think Stockton's wild, the next city somehow made summer feel like a punishment and a personality. Number 4, Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan, the city that once helped build America's auto industry. Back in the day, it was all factory jobs, working class pride, and Motown on the radio. Fast forward to today, and let's just say it's not exactly your dream retirement postcard, unless your dream involves lead pipes, potholes, and the occasional tire fire. Let's hit you with some cold, rusty facts. Violent crime rate? A staggering 4 times the national average. Property values? Bottom of the barrel, median home price under $40,000. Sounds great until you see the house. Water crisis? Still not fully resolved, and trust in local infrastructure is about as low as the temps in January. Healthcare access? Limited. One major hospital, long wait times, and residents still drive to Detroit for specialists. Job market? Don't count on it. Still recovering from a decades-long economic gut punch. Flint, where your water might be questionable, but your retirement regrets will be crystal clear. Here's the thing about Flint. It's the only place where ordering water at a restaurant still feels like a dare. Also, have you seen the roads? It's like driving across the surface of the moon, but colder and with more squirrels. And don't get me started on winter. It lasts 6 months and feels like nature is trying to kill your knees. Oh, and every other intersection? Blinking red lights. Welcome to real-life Frogger. Now picture this. You wake up to a snowy silence. You pour a cup of coffee, look out at the frost-covered trees, and notice your neighbor's car has no tires and the city just forgot to plow your street. Again, retirement goals? More like survival side quest. Living in Flint is like being in a documentary that never ends. There's character, sure, but mostly it's just cold and broken. Flint may offer cheap housing and a quiet backyard, but when the crime rate's higher than your cholesterol, does it really matter? And if you thought Flint was grim, the next city turns the heat up and the chaos way past comfortable. Number 3, Modesto, California. Modesto, California. The name even sounds kind of peaceful, right? Nestled in the Central Valley, surrounded by almond orchards and endless farmland. At first glance, it might seem like a laid-back, affordable slice of California for your retirement. But once you unpack the reality, yeah, you might want to keep packing. Time for the cold, hard data. And yes, Modesto is hot. We'll get to that. Violent crime rate? Over 60% higher than the national average. Median home price? Roughly $420,000 and climbing, despite the crime and lack of charm. Summer temps? Consistently above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a dry heat and a slow roast. Air quality? Among the worst in the state due to agey pollution and wildfire smoke. Healthcare access? Limited and overloaded. Good luck getting in for anything short of a limb falling off. Modesto, because nothing says relaxing retirement like crime, bad air, and melting into your patio chair by 10 a.m. Modesto drivers are something else. They either go 15 over or come to a dead stop in the middle of the intersection. And let's not ignore the weird obsession with lifted trucks that take up 2 parking spaces at Panera. Also, why is the only good coffee shop either closed by 2 p.m. or somehow inside a gas station? You'll be sweating, lost, undercaffeinated, and dodging Dodge Rams, all before brunch. Imagine this. You step outside for some fresh air, except it's 103 degrees Fahrenheit and smells like almonds, dust, and regret. You squint through the haze, hear a car backfire, and wave at your neighbor, who's arguing with a feral cat. Modesto in a nutshell. Modesto is where you retire if you want to pay California prices without any of the actual perks. And if you think Modesto's a hot mess, wait till you see the next place where your wallet might burst into flames before you even unpack. Number 2, Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama, not to be confused with that Birmingham across the pond. This one comes with southern charm, sweet tea, and a history as rich as its barbecue sauce. At first glance, it's got all the retirement checklist items: warm weather, decent cost of living, a growing food scene. But give it more than 48 hours, and you'll start to see why it's sitting way up on this countdown. So let's crack this open. Violent crime rate, nearly 5 times the national average. Yep, 5. Healthcare, ranked among the worst in the country for senior care access. Cost of living, below average, but not low enough to justify the trade-offs. Public transportation, barely functioning, bring your own car and a mechanic. Air quality, rough, thanks to lingering industrial pollution. Your lungs might retire before you do. Retire in Birmingham, and you'll get all 4 seasons of anxiety. Let's talk traffic. It's somehow slow and dangerous, like NASCAR with potholes and no rules. Then there's the humidity, which isn't just sticky. It's, why do I feel like I'm wearing soup? And don't even try ordering a cappuccino without being judged for not drinking sweet tea. Oh, and drivers turning left from the right lane? A classic Birmingham move. Bold choice, terrifying results. Picture this. You wake up to birds chirping, the smell of biscuits in the air. Then walk outside and immediately regret wearing jeans because it feels like 97 degrees Fahrenheit with a side of diesel fumes. You wave to your neighbor, but can't see them. Too much smog and someone's burning leaves. Again, Birmingham is like a biscuit. Looks good on the outside, but inside, dry, crumbly, and someone forgot the butter. Remember when we thought Rockford was rough? Yeah, this is like Rockford, but with sweat. Okay, random stat break. You're more likely to get hit by lightning in Alabama than find a well-maintained sidewalk in Birmingham. Source? My ankles. And if you thought Birmingham was humid and hectic, wait until you see what Florida's been cooking up at number 1. Spoiler, it's spicy. Number 1, Miami, Florida. Miami, the neon playground of retirees, influencers, and that one guy who always wears linen pants. For decades, it's been the go-to fantasy for golden years. Palm trees, white sand beaches, salsa music in the air. The place where you retire with a tan and a mojito in each hand. But in 2025, that dream is starting to feel more like an Instagram filter than real life. Let's pull back the curtain on paradise. Cost of living? Over 20% higher than the national average. Median rent? Pushing $2,700 per month for a 1-bedroom near anything resembling civilization. Home insurance. If you can even get it, expect premiums over $6,000 a year thanks to hurricane risk. Crime rate. Higher than most U.S. cities, especially property crime. Say goodbye to that beach cruiser. Traffic. Ranked among the worst in the country. Retiring shouldn't feel like your morning commute in L.A. Miami, where you'll sweat, spend, and possibly need scuba gear all before lunch. Let's talk about the weather. Yes, it's sunny for 5 minutes. Then a random thunderstorm hits, the humidity hits 1,000%, and suddenly it feels like you're breathing through a damp sock. Then there's the drivers. I've seen a guy do a U-turn on a sidewalk while vaping and blasting Bad Bunny. Oh, and $8 for iced coffee? At a gas station? Retirement doesn't mean you want to retire your savings in a single week. Imagine this. You wake up to the ocean breeze, the sound of waves, and a construction crew jackhammering at 6 a.m. You open your window to see a gorgeous sunrise, right behind a Category 2 hurricane warning on your phone. You go outside, only to realize it's 94 degrees with the wind. Welcome to Miami. Living in Miami is like dating someone hot who also empties your wallet, forgets your birthday, and crashes your car. Sure, Miami looks like a vacation postcard. But when rent devours your fixed income, insurance is a luxury, and you need GPS to navigate retirement itself, the vibe gets real old, real fast. So if you're thinking of retiring to Miami in 2025, maybe rethink it. You're not retiring to a beach. You're retiring to a battlefield of rising costs, rising tides, and rising blood pressure. But hey, at least your tan will look good in the ER. Now that we've roasted 10 towns and crushed 10 dreams, go ahead, tell me I missed your city in the comments. Or better yet, tell me where you'd actually retire. So, we've been across the country, from frozen chaos in Anchorage to swampy sticker shock in Miami. What do these places all have in common? They look good on a postcard, but when it comes to retiring comfortably, safely, and sanely, not so much. Behind the palm trees and real estate listings is a deeper truth. Just because a city is famous or affordable doesn't mean it's right for you. Retirement isn't about just stretching your money. It's about choosing peace of mind over palm trees and quality of life over cool zip codes. Pick a place that fits your values, your budget, and let's be real, your tolerance for potholes, hurricanes, and weird neighbor energy. Because let's face it, Boise is boring but safe. Detroit is exciting, but bring a helmet. Choose wisely. And if you're wondering where you should retire in 2025, don't worry. That list is coming next. Spoiler, there is a beach town that won't bankrupt you. Shocking, I know. Hit like, drop your dream retirement spot in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more truth bombs coming your way. Catch you next time. Max out.